So welcome back, guys. We're going to be having a quick review of all that we did in class yesterday. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to create my 06 underscore box model dot html. Do Control B, get my boilerplate. Let me zoom this in so you get to see all. So I'll change the title to box model because we want to explain the basics of what box model is. So inside my body, I'll have three divs. So to do that, I'll say box times 3. So, and let me space this out. So we have three divs. So inside the first div, I'm going to have an h3. I'll say box 1, and I have my p tag. I can say lorem 20. Save. Scroll down. Now, basically, you know what, guys? I'll just get rid of these two so we can save some time. Now grab this div. I'll hold Shift Alt and down twice. So I have my 3 boxes. All I have to do is to come here, and we can choose to leave it that way. I just want to make sure that everything is ordered. Then I save my 3 boxes. So I have to you have to click go live. You have to click like go live, but already, so just click go live. It should you should have exactly these 3 boxes. So let's style them all up and get right straight into business. So I'll come into my head, into the head of my document, and I'll say style. Then I'll target the first box. I'll say dot box. Then because the 3 boxes share the same class name, this styling will be distributed to all of them. So I'll say border. I'll say border 1 pixels solid, and I want a black. So I have this all up. Then I'll give them all the width of 500 pixels. So yeah, then I'll come and I'll say background, white. Then I'll change. No, you know what, guys? I'll say background. So let's say F4. Save it so we actually get a feel of what we are doing. So I think that will be all for our 3 boxes, and we now have to have like a full view of our browser. Then hit F12 to get this console, to get this up, or you can just click here, this hamburger tool, move to more tools and developer tool, or you could just click or hit Ctrl Shift I to get this up. So the first thing I'll do is to, when I hover and I'll click this first icon gives me the leverage to select the different elements on my page. So when I select, I'll zoom this, I'll bring this up a bit, and yeah, so this is exactly what I want us to take a long look at. This is basically the box model, and the box model comprises of the margin, which I explained to be the space outside the box, the border, the padding, which is actually the space inside, and our content. As you can see, when I hovered around this first box here, the first box here got highlighted. So if I should give a margin to this box, the margin will actually appear around 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 the box, like outside the box. So give this first box a margin like around from here. So I could just come here, I'll say 10 pixels, and you just observed that you know it came down a bit. So let's give this section a margin of 30 pixels. See, the box just moved, so let's give this margin of 30 pixels. You see this, the box just knocked this other one off, and we could also give here a margin of 30 pixels too. So you see we now have a margin of 30 pixels by the side. So you get to see what the box model is. So let's target that same box, and and increase the border um, the border size. You can just say the border type size. So instead of having 1 pixels, of solid line, I could just make it 3 pixels of solid line at the top. I could just come here and say, okay, these 3 pixels of solid line here, and let me replace this with then I could just come here and say I want 3 pixels of solid line at the bottom, and 3 pixels of solid line by the left. So you see how all this works. So let's handle our padding. I could just come here and say 20 pixels of padding top, and 20 pixels of padding bottom, 20 pixels of padding right, and 20 pixels of padding left. So you see, just as I explained in class, that the padding actually gives the spacing inside, the margin gives the spacing outside. So with this box model, let me zoom in so you get to have a better feel of the box model. So we could tweak this, but when we reload, just as I showed you, everything goes off to normal. So we'll jump right straight into our Visual Studio Code and play a little with margin and padding. So we're back live here in our Visual Studio Code, and all I want us to do is to let's play around with the margin. So we'll be doing the margin first, and we're going to do it this way. Let's say box. Okay, you know what, guys, let's just come into our box here, and we could just say margin. I will just give a comment here. I'll say margin per side. So I'll just come down here and I'll say margin. Let's do bottom first. Now let's just do the normal convention. We start from top, margin top. We could just say 10 pixels, and when I save it, I will see everything. The margin actually came here. We had the margin top here and the margin top here. So the next we do margin right, just as we did in class. Margin right, I also give it 10 pixels. You don't really know it, like, but we got like 10 pixels here. Let's hit our Chrome developer tool and confirm that. So we let me click the first box, and let's get to see it properly. So guys, you can see all that we've been hard coding in our Visual Studio Code. You could see that we have 10 pixels right and 10 pixels top of margin, just as we did. So you see everything just comes, and so the next is margin bottom, margin bottom. We say 10 pixels, and when we save, in fact, let's just say margin bottom 30 pixels, not 300 pixels, guys. So you get to see the effect. So, and the last, we'll do margin left. We're going to say 20 pixels. So you see, just knocked it off. And that's it for margin per side. And I showed you guys. Let's comment this and have everything back to normal. And we could do margin all sides. Margin all sides. And we could just write margin. Say we want let's just do it first, actually 20 pixels. Say this 20 pixels is 20 pixels top, right, bottom, and left. So this like maybe a shorter way, depends on what you want to achieve. So let's confirm this. We'll go to our visuals, our Chrome developer tool, and and click one of the boxes, and let's click this one. No, guys, let me just zoom in so we get a better feel of all that we're doing. So you get to see that we have 20 pixels all around, 20 pixels here, 20 pixels here, and also 20 pixels here, just as we had coded here. So the next thing I showed you guys was the other. Let me on both sides. Like if let margin, if I margin top and bottom and left and right. Sorry guys. And to do that, I'll just say margin. I need top and bottom 20 pixels, and I need left and right 0. Like I do not want any margin on the left and like on the right. So when I save this, see I have 10 pixels here and 10 pixels here. Then left and right 0. Let me confirm this on the Chrome Dev tool. So yeah, so guys, sorry about this. I have to do this one first. So you can see we have top and bottom 20 pixels, left and right. We don't have any margin here. This margin you're seeing here is like a default margin that the browser gives to So yeah, and this is also a block element. The div tag is a block element too. So that was it for margin, and we replicated the same for padding. All I have to do is to grab this so we don't take so much of our time, and just do a little bit of tweaking. We'll come here, instead of margin, we'll say padding and aside, and we have to change this. So I'll uncomment all this, and I will come right here and hold my Alt, and I'll click and just say padding top. You see we have the effect. It actually pops inside. Let's open up our Chrome developer tool. So come here, click this, open it up in full, and let's see this green shade, this green, yeah. So see that we have padding top 10, padding left 20 pixels, bottom 30, and also right 10. So we could mix it, we'll just come here and say, I want this to also have effect, so I could have spacing around my boxes. You could just play with it and see how, and I believe that's how you understand it better. So we'll still come here and replicate the same thing. I'll say padding all sides, Then I'll comment this out and comment this out and see padding all sides 20 pixels. No, sorry guys, I'm supposed to have changed this. So yeah, padding all sides. So, and last but not the least, I have to change this to so I'm gonna have sorry guys, so I'm gonna have padding top and bottom 20 pixels, left and right 0. So you see top and bottom, yeah, and see 0 because see the edges, they are leaning, you know, they're stuck on the edges, so that's why. But top and bottom actually has 20 pixels. So that's it for margin and padding and the box model. Basically, as we keep, you know, building little projects, you get to have a better feel of what of how to use the box model, and you know, better explore your you know, like have better experiences with with all these technologies. So let's move to the next item. So the next item we looked at was float and align, and for that project, I'm going to make use of exactly the same content. All I have to do is to come here and create my 07 underscore float underscore align, just as we did in class.html. Hit enter, jump into my box model, grab everything I have here, copy it, Ctrl C, come into this place and paste it and do some tweaking. All I have to do here is to change this to float and align and save that. And okay guys, now I have to load it up here too. So I'll come down here. So I have my float in a line, and what else? I have to get rid of all this, a few of these, not all. Yeah, all. I have to get rid of all this. I have to get rid of all this too and save, so I get this back to normal. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the align property. But before that, let's just do a little bit of what we did in the last like video, the last presentation. Sorry guys. So I'll just give it a padding of let's say 20 pixels, and I would give it a margin bottom of 20 pixels. Yeah, so they get to knock, you know, themselves. Yeah. So, and I also showed you guys a little trick, but as we progress, so let's do the align. Let's make use of the align property. So I'll say text align. So to actually let me get rid of this space here. To actually align, you know, the text inside your contents, you would use a property known as text align. So, and for that, we're going to be targeting this paragraph. So no, let's target the H1 first. So we could just do, let's target all the H3s. I would just come here and say box, H3s, and say text align, so center. You see all the text actually came to center. There are actually different values you can employ. We have center, we have left, and we have right, and we have justify. So I'll leave that to you to explore. All you have to do is to maybe come here. If you need to move to the right, you say right, and it moves to the right. So I'm going to leave my center. So you could play with all that. You could also target let me grab this and target my paragraph tag. So, you know, I just align the text to the center. I could align the text that are inside the paragraph to the left. and they get to align. I could try justify, which I explained to you guys. So I actually need more content to see justify work properly. So I could just come here and say Lorem 20 again. 20, like 20. I don't know why this guy's not okay. So Lorem 20. So justify actually gets them to the edges, so they don't get to slack or you see spaces. We did that with MS Word in class, but I hope you get the points. So thank you guys. So we'll go back to the default. So that's it for text align. The next is float. I promise to show you guys a better approach of moving boxes around. That will be when we start doing flex box, but it's good that you actually understand the float system. So we say float. So to actually do that, let's jump into our boxes and give them IDs. So I'll say ID, ID box 1. I'll just grab this ID 2, grab it, come right here. And IDs must be unique. So box 2, and I'll also drop the same here. I'll say box 3 and I'll save it. So we're going to be playing a little bit with the width of our boxes. Then I'll come here and I'll target the first box. I'll say box, box 1. I'll say width. So let it take 30% of screen size. Then I'll do the same for the boxes too. So I'll say box 2 should take 30%. I'll say box 3 should also take 30% too. You know what? Let's just leave box 3 that way. Let's just. So and before we continue, guys, I showed you guys a trick, and we actually have default paddings. Default paddings around the edges. The browser actually gives your HTML content some default paddings, and to get rid of that, we're going to do asterisk, which targets every element around, and we're going to say margin, say 0, so it knocks everyone out. To got rid of everything around the edges. Say padding 0, and I'm going to say box sizing, say border box. So everything. So I can now come down to I can now come here and say box 1. I'll say float. I'll float it left, and I'll come to my box 2 and I'll say float, say right, and box 3 by default actually forces itself inside. It forces itself inside. So all I have to do now is to create a div with a class of CLR in between, like before I get to box 3. Then I'll come right here and I'll do .clr. I have to clear. I'll say clear, say boot, and it knocks this one down here and allows this to appear side by side. So I could also do box 1, do box 160, and box 230, right? I could also give it a height from 60 to 60. Let's just not do height now. Let's just stick to what we did in class. So I could give this a width of 38, right? So I could give a margin, like I could do margin so we could have some spaces around. or like whatever you want to. But I hope you get the point of floating. We gave it a width, gave the two boxes a width, and floated one left and floated the other right. So that will be it for this presentation. Feel free to email me on WhatsApp if you have any challenges concerning this. These are just basics, and we're actually going to be seeing better ways of doing all this, but just know that you could actually do them this way. Explore W3 schools and feel free to ask questions too. So I hope to see you in the next class. I'll try to make a little presentation of an assignment you should attempt, and see you and have a wonderful weekend.